this is public relation. There's no way you say, let's have a jingle, and then you go and be saying things against the organization. Is there any way? So it's your job. I beg, not be this way they talk. NSITF. If you do direct marketing, like you do a brochure talking about your activities and move it around like politicians do when they want to talk about maybe constituency projects or their service in 4 years. You know, they do a brochure, they show you, they open there was a borehole, blah, blah, blah. When you do a thing like that, like your management decides in 2 years to show what you have done, everybody will say, it's them now. What else were they going to say? But assuming a reporter in The Guardian does a feature on NSITF based on what you guys are doing now, trying to reposition, rejig, you know, somebody will say, wait a minute, NSITF, come on. And this is Guardian. Oh, this is Channels doing a story on their own on NSITF. This is AIT. Or this is Signature TV. Or this is Mr. Njoku. Oh, this very credible journalist on his show is saying good things about NSITF. I think that's what they're talking about there. Credibility that the other forms will not make possible. Even if you had bought space on some newspapers, center spread, 5 pages, 6 pages, they will say it's NSITF now. So it's your own thing. But you can imagine if Radio Nigeria, for instance, did a news analysis, you didn't pay for it, and they focus. Even when you pay self, maybe they won't say you paid, and they focus on NSITF. The one you guys sent out on your own and the one at Radio Nigeria, which one will be more credible? Okay, I took time just to, because we see a whole lot like that as we go. So let's go. Are we good? Okay. For you to, you see what I'm talking about? I'm not sure whether me and this man are on the same page. Because what I'm seeing is that he didn't even start from the beginning. So let me use, as if I knew. Media relations involves working with media for the purpose of informing the public of an organization about an organization's mission, policies, and practices in a positive, consistent, and credible manner. Typically, this means coordinating directly with the people responsible for producing the news and features in the mass media. I don't want to stop about people producing the news and features. In the media, a whole lot happen now. So I would rather we now say those producing programs and other things on radio, TV, or those editorial writers, back page, columnists, features editors, name it. Do you understand? Those are the people we are talking about. The goal of media relations is to maximize positive coverage in the mass media without paying for it directly through advertising. Am I making sense? Media relations. But as we talk, you know that sometimes you have to spend money. But it's not like you want an advert, you pay. It is, 1 minute on AIT inside the news hour is 900 and something thousand. That's not what we're saying. Or on channels. But this one is that you're making things happen about NSITF. You're pushing positive stories, narratives for NSITF through the media without actually paying. So, I think that's why they chose to call it media relations. What is making this possible is your relationship with the media. That's why it's called media relations. Many people use the terms public relations and media relations interchangeably. However, doing so is incorrect. But I think you need to have good public relations to be a good media relations manager. That's what I think, as VinMartin. That's what I think. Media relations refer to the relationship that a company or organization develops with journalists, and I want to add media practitioners, while public relations extend that relationship beyond the media to the general public. Do you get my drift? Okay. Media relations is relationship with the media. People that work in the media. Like I said, you need good public relations to make that happen. But public relations goes beyond the media. Because your relationship with both those in the media and those outside the media. Your publics, your publics covers almost everybody, but let's just say like people that do business with you. Those that don't do business with you. You do a lot of public relations. True or false? Okay. I took that quote from Wikipedia, so I didn't go far. It's something if you see it. Okay? Media relations or publicity is a powerful tool for influencing and changing behavior. It provides critical third-party endorsement for a product, service. I think we've talked about this. So I now go to what I call tips and little things that matter in media relations. And the first thing I took here is what we discussed about yesterday. You remember that most important lecture I gave yesterday? Why strategy matters. The most important as this one. So, that's the first thing. I said, in media relations, you must have a strategic communication plan. After that lecture yesterday, did you understand what I meant or what I mean by strategic communication plan? Did we understand it? So for you to do good media relations, you must have a plan. Not just a market woman's plan, but what? A strategic plan. Number 2, like I said yesterday, all these lectures we talk about, you hear what somebody said yesterday, another person is saying it because we are talking about the media. Identify the appropriate media contact and media list. Okay. Who are the journalists how many of you have continued to remain in the corporate affairs department in the last 5 years? Let me have a show of hands. Last 5 years. Queen, only you. Eh? Where's Hajia now? Why is she absent in this very important lecture that I'm giving? What is she doing? Somebody, they must go and find her before I continue. Because it's very, very important, please. Look for Hajia. So, okay, no, just to make sure that she understands that we need her attention here. So let me start with Queen, who's been there for at least 5 years. Okay, please, by a show of hand, who are members of the Corporate Affairs Department that are here? Whether old or new? Eh? Okay, fine. Servicom. Eh? Fabulous, where are you there now? You know they anywhere? You know they Corporate Affairs? You know they Servicom? So where are you there? Servicom. Okay, good. Okay, let's let Queen guide us. Who are the journalists that you guys reach out to when there are developments in your organization? Labor correspondents. Why do you use labor correspondents?
Because our supervising ministry is the Ministry of Labor and Employment. So the first line of action when we have assignments is to reach them because they have quite a number. When we reach out to them, they reach others for us. So we use them to get to others.
Okay. Outside labor correspondents, are there other reporters whose area of competence or area of specialization touches what you do?
There are, but most of those ones, they always want to do a paid documentary or commentary, which is usually not approved.
Okay. Why I'm asking is, identify the appropriate media contact. If you go and identify your media relations, corporate affairs, NSITF, and you go and be associating with entertainment correspondents, did you identify the appropriate media contact? You are doing media relations, but you're doing what? You are doing it with the wrong person. Okay? Please sit down, Queen. Hajia, why did you leave when I'm on this very important lecture? Okay, go ahead, please. It's a conversation.
Well, while I was in Corporate Affairs Department, we tried to reach out to some people we feel could influence stories. For instance, when there was a big, I don't know if it was deliberate scandal on our examination, promotional exam, and Channels TV was there live. I had to reach out to Kingsley Oranta, who is the general manager, to see if it can be stopped. But they had already aired. Immediately, we had to reach to them. But by the time we needed to clear.
Why did you want to stop it? There was no scandal?
No, it was a scandal. Yes, it was a scandal.
So why were you trying to stop it?
It was good. It was a reputational management issue at that point.
Was it factual?
Somehow, but half-truth makes a factual fallacies.
Okay.
So we
factual
needed
fallacies. That's like alternative truth.
Yes. So sometimes
I'm pinning you. Alternative truth, as espoused by King Trump. So you guys had a scandal, and now you want to now say that it's in half-truth. And what was that word you used now?
Factual fallacy.
Factual fallacy. Well,
so we were able to, by the time we knew it,
Yeah.
We had already gone on air. And as it was going on air, by the time we reached him, it wasn't going to be repeated again, but he now assured us.
It wasn't going to be repeated
anymore.
Because when you repeat, you're doing it again.
Yes.
So you can't be repeating again.
Yeah, but they could. But he told us the one they couldn't handle them.
You are not getting me.
Okay.
You're not getting me.
Okay.
It was repeated. If you repeat again,
Yes.
that's torture.
Yeah.
And people in corporate affairs should not be caught.
Okay.
I'm sorry, if you ask my colleagues,
Repeat
where
it.
in the office, it's just everybody is on edge.
Yes.
Because I'll be doing I'll be Oga, I'll just,
Yeah.
everybody will shout, Oga don't speak.
Yes. That's going to be repeated.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So we were able to do that. It was just aired once. Then the ones we couldn't control them was the internet one, the one that has gone online. But we knew that a lot of people may not have access to that one. So when we tried to reach AIT through
Queen?
Ogodo, it was, I think we needed funds at that point.
To bribe them.
I don't know, it's not bribing, it's called honorarium. It's not bribe. We don't bribe in corporate affairs.
Queen has a different approach to this, your story.
Did you call it bribe? No, we don't bribe in,
Okay.
in our
But
departments.
the point Arthur is making is that part of your job is damage control. I think that's what, and you need to use people of influence to do it. Yeah, I mean, it's not out of, because yesterday, Oga was, when he was talking to you, he said, I have, and he said it with pride and like, I have 4 numbers here now. If there's a story I don't want to see tomorrow morning, I'll just call them. And what will they do? They will kill it. He must have a lot of influence and relationship to do that. Eh? I'll come to it. And I'll I hope we have time. When did I start this? 10? 11:30. I hope we have time. So we'll share a whole lot. You need a wonderful relationship to do that. So I agree with you. Besides the people directly in your line of business, you need people of influence. You need editors. You need to be friends with editors. You need to be friends with the general manager. You need to be friends with the line editors, in the hierarchy. If you're a good corporate affairs manager, you must have friends in high places in the media. You must have friends in high places. Okay. So, we now understand that you need to identify relevant, appropriate media contacts. Okay? That you will be working with. Then, let's go to practical. I used to be special advisor to the governor one time like that. And you also need to identify the journalists who, when you have an event, after the event, instead of running back to their stations to ensure that the stories go published, broadcast, they are still in your venue writing their names to collect transport. You should not be working with those kinds of people. The ones you should be working with are the ones who have a name to protect, that are running to do what? Like, as we were doing that yesterday, the man has already called you. Queen, are you still at the training? He said, yes. So he said, Queen, I've sent you a link. He said, link of the story. This is your training. And then Queen or Arthur, Corporate Affairs, looks at it, smiles, and sends it to Ijomo Kurumpo immediately. To say, we are doing our work. Oh, this thing, we're even doing training, the story has gone. And then Ijoma would send it to MD and her other big colleagues. And they will say that what is happening, corporate affairs is working. So when you identify those people, identify the ones that know their onions, that want, not the ones that will tell you, Madam Queen, make una do quick now. Make una do quick now. And then they will carry about 10 others they don't have any medium. And they're working like a union. If one person writes a story, the other ones will copy it. If you read them, they'll be sounding like. Okay? I'm giving you tips that are practical. As special advisor media, I didn't deal with such people. Among the labor or whatever, or government house correspondents that I had and those that will come from time to time, I try to identify the ones that are credible, that are interested not just in NSITF or maybe my governors at that time, they were also interested in giving out good stories on time. Those are the ones you should be doing business with.
So who was your governor then?
Sullivan Chime. About the best period Enugu had. He wasn't media friendly, but I was one of the best media advisors that ever stayed in that government house. And I'll tell you how. I couldn't even go on trips with my governor. He didn't want that. I didn't have a budget, a media budget. We are coming to that. I'm glad you know that he does not spend money. Okay, so media list, very important. Media list, very important. But if you have a media list that you're not lubricating, that you're not... Mohammed, are you with us? Am I that boring? Eh? So how come you're closing your eyes if I'm not that boring? Okay, so you need a media list. What does a media list help you do? Like in today's internet world, social media, on your WhatsApp, you must have a WhatsApp list of your media friends. So that when you just click, it goes to everybody. But in the olden days, you had a list, a book, a phone book you would run to if anything happens. We didn't have mobile phones, but it had to be near you all the time so you can reach these guys if there was an emergency. But remember I said, a media list is just a media list if you don't use it well. Or even if they are on your phone and you don't use it well. It's just a media list, a piece of paper. But as a corporate affairs person, as a media manager, you need to use it well. And as we go, you see how you use it well. Okay. Track and monitor media contacts and publications. Eh? If you wake up in the morning, you don't check the labor pages, you don't check the newspapers, you don't check the headlines, you will just be in your office. And if you have a managing director, he just marches in. You stupid people, nonsense people. What corporate affairs are you doing? What did I see in the front page? Sir? Front page? Sir, which front page? Which, do you understand? So you need to track and monitor. Like when I was special advisor, part of my job and my team was that before the governor wakes up, with my chief press secretary, who was a member of my team, you know, it's down like that. So somebody gets the papers, brings them to the office, cuts, goes to those areas. They cut it out, actually. Yeah? By the time I got there, we're now, not just to cut them out, we type them afresh. Okay? By the time I was leaving, social media was, we not just type them afresh, we could paste and whatever and send. But some governors are not, they still want it the old way. So maybe, so it's a teamwork. Somebody has done it, brings it to the chief press secretary. Chief press secretary looks at it, they bring it to my table. Maybe I make my comment, then they send to the governor. Okay? The idea is that first of all, we have scored the newspapers, see stories that has something to do with our government or our governor, and then we show Oga. We're on top of it. So it's difficult for him. Maybe sometimes somebody will call and say, Your Excellency, did you see that report about you? He will say, okay, call Vin or call the other person. And then he calls us and says, Sir, we already have it. It's part of what is with your ADC or your security detail, something like that. So you need to have this information. What does it tell you again? You need to read wide. If you say you're in corporate affairs, you should read and read. Go to sites. Don't get tired of, like, Signature TV. We have a news push service where we send stories like 3 times a day. Some of my friends will say, because on the average we send you 15 or 10 each time. You say, how do I read all these things? But people in corporate affairs should ask for more. Take from Signature TV, take from channels, take from this person, because you want to be informed. Okay. The other very, very important one is that you need to understand the industry and its dynamics. This okay, let me not say industry now. Every one of you needs to understand everything about NSITF. Is it ECS? Is it the new social security? Blah, 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 blah. Everything. A corporate affairs person is like a journalist who knows a little of everything. You must know, not a little, as much as you can take of everything that happens in NSITF. There's a board meeting that has started today in your organization. True or false? Every member of the corporate affairs department should be interested in the decisions that will be made by the board. Actually, one of your team should be part of that meeting going on. So that when you are around and decisions are, of course, there are some areas they won't want you to come anyway, because maybe you're lower rank or something. But whatever is their decision, it is corporate affairs that will translate it into whatever it is going to be. Whether their board meeting is going to be well perceived in the public is your department. So you need to understand. And like I was saying yesterday, when you guys start working as a team and something like what Arthur is saying happens, IJ will say, Arthur, they're inviting us for a program in Kiss FM. You go there. If you don't understand issues, can you go there? Can you represent NSITF? Or any one of you? So please, you must understand it. How do they do compensation? It's not your department, though. You should know. Because you are the one that will explain it to the press. In short, after a board meeting and decisions have been made, some of the press men, even when you have given the press release, some may not understand. This ECS, what is it about? You say, okay, wait, let me go and ask Ms. Okoronkwo. The person would not even talk to you the next day. Okay, so let's move on. I wish we had time so we can. Okay, so for you to work as a media relations manager, you must have personal PR. Do you understand what that means? Your own individual PR. Not, I will come. Okay, so you have to have personal PR. Not when I call Vivian. Vivian, this is VinMartin from AIT. Yes. 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 See, the person that is playing this thing is not here. And the man says, when can I call back? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Okay. Maybe tomorrow or call on Friday. Who did the person call? Answer me first. Who did the person call? He called Vivian. Who was Vivian representing? You're talking about corporate affairs, image making. Come on to answer phone. And explain. Mr. VinMartin. How may I help you, sir? Oh, okay. That is true. That is true. But, do you mind if I call you back, VinMartin? I need to be sure about my facts. I don't want to say anything that, do you mind if I call you back? I need to talk with my colleagues. Let me, oh, okay. Sincerely, as we speak now, I don't have this information. Can I call you back? And the man rakes, can I call you back, please? Can you just, can you just give me a, no, but it's showing in your phone now. Don't you know it's showing in your phone? Corporate affairs, image maker. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to write it down. I don't want to forget. I take many calls. I don't want it mixed up. I don't have your number. Okay? But that's one part of it. You need to function well by having a good personal PR. Be nice to people. Corporate affairs. You're walking down the staircase, and that's your staircase that does not work. That somebody is breathing and trying to die. Then the man is coming. He's been there like 2 days ago. And he doesn't want a second one. And then he's coming and sees this pretty woman. It's not going to happen. I will remember what I was saying. And sees you and says, please, I wanted to go upstairs. But is there somebody that can help me get this information? It's on the 4th floor. Maybe an old man like Mr. Njoko. Is he there? Sorry, I didn't want to tell them what happened the day we came to see Madame and climbing the steps. I don't want to tell them. So instead of saying, okay, sir, would you just sit down? Of course, the front office person is supposed to be corporate affairs, isn't it? There must be a combination, no. There must be a combination because corporate affairs, people at the front office report to corporate affairs in almost every organization I know.
No, I think that Sevicom was created under the presidency. It's an anomaly, but it has something that is highest beyond the fund.
No. The fund can still say a cervical officer and a corporate affairs officer in the place. Anyway, but I'm not trying to change. I was just, so you say something like, Mrs. Bumi or Miss Bumi, can one of you please, can you get this information from this man? Can someone, stuff like that. And for God's sake, if your lift is not working, I don't see why I can't call somebody, a big officer up to say, there's an old man that came around. Do you mind coming down to attend to him? These are little, we're talking about the little things that matter. Okay. He now says, learn to pick calls and reply to text messages and emails. Little things that matter. Let me tell you, sorry, I'm not one that wants to sounding modest. So when I keep saying I was media advisor, it's just because of this, what we're doing. Of course, I've always been in media, so I'm sure that's why they made me media advisor. Anyway, so in the initial time, the initial months after I was appointed, I discovered that from the messages that would come like 20 in a day, I started getting messages of up to 100, 50, plenty emails, plenty calls. Do you understand? So, you know what I devised? I'll take the calls I can take, answer the messages I can. But anytime I go home, forgive me if I'm going to sound... usually before I go to bed, I'm going to have a bath. Okay? And before I have a bath, if I don't use the loo, I don't feel comfortable. I mean, I think it's habit. And because of it, anywhere I live, my bathroom, you can eat right there. Okay? So when I sit down on that loo, I start answering all my messages. Usually every toilet I have has a TV. So I watch TV and I'm typing. If there are calls I didn't get, what I could do is send a text. Oh, I saw your call. I will call back. But I discovered that downtime, like 10 minutes, short, sometimes I stay in the loo like 20 or 30 minutes. At the point, I'm no longer doing the business. I'm actually working. But we all have our times like that. Maybe before you sleep, you want to be awake for like, those are times you can. But you must understand that you need to do these things. We are talking about media relations for NSITF today, but some of you are going to grow and become advisors to bigger people. They appoint you, executive director, blah, blah, blah. And people start calling you. What we are talking about will help, even then. Because first of all, they think you have become a big man. You know, they say a friend in government or in big position is a friend lost. So you need to do this. Because you are, how can you, okay, you know my governor. I had a governor that does not pick calls. Not even from his commissioners and advisors and what have you. Not to talk about picking calls of people he does not know. So your governor is inaccessible. Then a special advisor inaccessible. We can't reach your MD. And we can't reach people in corporate affairs. Does it make sense? So you must learn to answer calls. I just gave you my own example, what I did. So you need to find a way to do yours. Maybe you say, okay, in this my corporate affairs, I must bring 20 minutes every day to look through my messages, especially the journalists. Did any journalist call? Do I need to call back? Do I need to do this? Did he ask for information? Blah, blah, blah. Check your email. It's very important. And I've said it for corporate affairs. But I'm saying it for no dulling. It will help you as a person. Your in-laws, your friends, they need, if they call you, they want a call returned. Do you understand? So if we start saying NSIT, we're doing it like it's not a natural thing. It happens even in your day-to-day business. So journalists don't like when their calls are not returned or their messages not answered or their emails. Do you understand? Journalists are impatient. As a journalist, I can't come to your office and wait for you for 30 minutes. It's not possible. I became friends with Oshomole when he was president of NLC because I came to his office. I had called him to say I'm coming for an interview, and he kept me waiting for 30 minutes. And I called my cameraman. I said, let's go. And then, before I came down that day, through the lift, I don't know what the guy did, whether he jumped or something. But by the time the lift was opening, one of his staff were there. Oga, please, Mr. President said you must come back. I said, I'm not coming back. Anyway, after a long whatever, I went back. But that little drama, we became friends. Journalists are impatient naturally. And they're arrogant. I'm one. They think that they are the best thing that ever happened to the world. And they've met so many big people that they look at you and say, this one. And when he gets angry, he starts telling you how many of your former MDs that will come and be begging him to do this or do that. So that their relationship must be sensitively handled. One wrong move, they will come against the organization as if the organization is the problem. It's just one person. Okay. You should have, I've talked about, okay, this one is now, we talked about knowledge of the organization. They're now saying, or we are now saying, you must have deep knowledge of your principal. This is your managing director. You must have deep knowledge. Who is he? Where did he work before? What are his hobbies? Is he married? Does he have kids? Another one. You go to the back end on your own. Are you listening to me, guys? Go to the back end on your own and find out if there are scandals. Do you understand? Were there scandals your chief executive or chairman of your board, a member of your board, had before, a burden they were bringing to your organization? Then as corporate affairs, you talk about it and get ready to answer, just in case. It's not to bring it and say, this man, say he gives somebody a wife belly. That's not the idea. The idea is to make your job a lot easier. Because, immediately they appoint a new chairman or whatever, there'll be inquiries from the media. So, one of the best things that your organization, as corporate affairs, will do, a new man is on board or somebody has been promoted, get something ready on the person. Just like Oga said yesterday about the press release, you tell the story your way. That this man has been this. So they just take it, they write it. But when you have not provided that, am I running out of time? What time is it? 10? Who? And we never even go. So you must understand the man, your board members and all that. So you do your release. Let me tell you a story. My governor, after I think about a year or thereabout into that administration, he decided to get married again. And then, even those of us that were working for him, we had no information. So, some days they will say, it was Yaradua's wife that gave him the girl. Oh, he met the girl at a party. Oh, he met her where she was hanging on the street. Stories like that. So I went to my governor. I said, sir, can you tell me something about this relationship? Are you going to marry this girl? Have you made up your mind? What are the plans? Are we going to have a traditional marriage? Are we going to have a wedding? He said, Vin, what is it? It's my private. I say it's not your private business. It's not. You are the governor of Enugu State. It's not your private business. I said, what I'm saying is that, look at reports. This is not good for our image. So I convinced him, and then I did a press release on the woman and the plans, wedding, traditional, and immediately we released that information. We did not go to say, oh, it's not true. He didn't meet her at the beer parlor. Your version. And that was it. Okay, let's run quickly because this is somewhere I like to talk and talk and talk. Anyway, you must have knowledge of issues. Issues around what you do, around all the laws, the act about that established as ITF, the changes, everything. You have to know the issues. Not just any other related issues around you, you need to know them. You must be internet and social media savvy. We talked about it yesterday, didn't we? Okay? I forgot one. Very important. You must understand the vision, mission, and objectives of your principal and your organization. What's the name of your new MD? Dr. Mike Akabog. What is his vision for NSITF? What is his mission? And what is his vision? Good. We are not going to go. We don't have time. So every member of this team, okay, you see, somebody says it's 4, somebody says it's 7. In corporate affairs, we've not gone outside. Remember what we talked about yesterday. Everybody must buy into the vision. Even people at the gate should know the 7-point agenda of Dr. Akabog. Are you guys listening to me? Every member of NSITF, including the security men, they should know the vision of Dr. Akabog. And they must know the vision of NSITF, their mission and everything, the objective. So that everybody's on board. Okay. We've talked about developing positive relationship in the media. Be truthful and build trust between you and the practitioners. Don't lie to them, please. Don't lie to them. As we go, I'm sorry, but I'll still move further. Don't lie to them. If you're not sure, please, I don't have the information you're asking for because you're not sure. Would you allow me find out? But don't come like Arthur was making me believe. I asked Arthur first, I said, was there a scandal? He said yes. And then you go out and tell them there was no scandal. No. Your damage control should not, because if you tell a journalist a lie, he comes to his organ like Mr. Njoku and brings it. And Mr. Njoku takes a phone because of his high level in society. He calls someone and discovers that the journalist had given, or the reporter had given a wrong information. He's not going to take it easy with that man. And that man is not going to take it easy with you. Because you tell, sir, but it's Mr. Arthur at NSITF that gave me this information. I went to ask, sir. So don't lie, please. If you don't know what to do, shut up. No comment. Nobody has been taken to court for no comment. Okay. We've talked about truthful and building trust. When not sure, ask for more time. Be a crisis manager. But I've told you about managing. Don't lie. Let me also tell another story. On one Remembrance Day in Enugu, my governor was going to put, what they call that, the wreath. And then, so Of course, they grabbed him. He didn't get on the floor. So the occasion ended. My governor was bundled into his official vehicle. But for anybody who knows Enugu, between where it happened and the government house was just like 3 minutes or 4 minutes. Before they got to the government house, he was fine. Okay? I don't know what happened. And then we got there. And again, one problem we all have, media managers, is that every other person in this organization knows your job more than you. Do you get that kind of experience? Every other person in your organization knows media more than you. If you want to try them, they will even tell you that they have phone number of somebody there. Oh, let me call Guardian. It's not his own job, but you don't go to his own. Everybody. So we got back to government house. Hey, no. We need money, Your Excellency. Money. I said, what are they using this money for? They say they want to kill the story. Is that not telling your boss a lie? In today's social media, happened in Opera Square, if you know where is Opera Square, like publicly, that everybody had their cameras and they captured it. Even they didn't know what was going to happen. Just because he's governor, some people are just like a musician. Everybody's bringing out their phone and dancing. And they tell my Oga that the money should be made available. They call the chief of staff. Hey, meeting. We need to raise money. I said, to do what? They said they want to kill the story. I said, how? How? So after some arguments, I'm not trying to say I was the best in the team. Oh, that's not what I'm saying. But I made my own case, sir. What we need to do now is to give out a release saying what happened to you. Because before we got to government house, they said, my governor parties too much. He likes women. That he has been partying all the night, and then he came down and collapsed. Do you understand? I said, we have to give a statement on what happened. We don't need to spend one kobo. And at the end of the day, some other people agreed with me, and a statement describing exactly, he had been working so whatever, was exhausted, he's human. Because if you're governor, you're still human. And then he felt weak. But 5 minutes after that the governor is, I said, sir, are you strong? He said, yes. So there is an activity in your schedule that day. You have to perform it. So we gave out the release, and he had a courtesy call by, I can't remember now. And he went, the press covered, even the press, government house president. Is it not the same governor that fell now? He's fine. But if we didn't give the release and the man went to his house and was sleeping, the story will continue to go. So crisis management is not to go and lie. When they used to kill stories, that time is over. And the story you're able to kill is an exclusive story. A reporter has been investigating on his own, and you learn about it. You can call the man and negotiate. If you believe in that. I don't believe in that anyway. Because for me, it's like blackmail. Like blackmail. I will put this, I will tell the other side of the story. Yes. Am I going to tell the whole truth? No, I will use my language. I'll use language. You can use language. Like, okay, I was doing something, but I heard Mr. Anjok saying that somebody wrote something that had no meaning or something. What did that? So, anyway, let me quickly run. Again, please. Money is important in media relations, but it is not all that is needed. I had a governor that was not friendly, but I had the best relationship with the media. Let me tell you what I did. If somebody came into town as usual, if some states, they will go with Ghana must go. My governor does not give Ghana must go. What I'll do, they would have called me, they're coming. So if they're coming by air, if I'm free, I go personally to the airport to pick them. If I'm not free, I send my driver. And they will bring them straight to my office. And they don't have to wait for a minute. We sit down, what can we do for you? Blah, blah, blah. I want to see your projects. I say, okay, today is not convenient. Can we do it tomorrow? I would like to do it, but do you mind if I'm not available? One of my assistants can take you. Of course, he will say yes. Okay? I'll do that. Then they will go. In the evening, I will tell him, please, as soon as you get back into town, let me know. In the evening, I will go to his hotel. I'll go and carry him. Maybe what I have is 1,000 or 2,000. If he drinks beer, I take him to a good place to drink beer. And we chill. I don't want to talk about the other things anyway. So the man is happy. He says, this man did not give me money, but he made himself available. He took me around. I felt respected. Am I making some sense? I've not spent 1 naira. And the man starts talking about, my governor, you know my governor now. Even, our governor said, we may not even get an interview. But I make sure that he has all the information he needs to have. And that me and my staff are available to answer his questions and what have you. But yes, your governor does not spend money. He does not talk to press. Then you yourself, you turn yourself also to your governor. Because you don't, tell the person you don't have money. They will not beat you. Anyway, so I said money is not everything. And again, you must have a working media budget. That's always a problem. Funding. But you must, if you have your personal PR, if they give you only 100,000, you can use it and do the work of ₦1 million. If you have your personal PR, if you know what you're doing. Okay, so there must be equipment to help you do your job. In your corporate affairs department, there should be an editing suite. There should be cameras, still and video, and all the other things you need, microphones, public address system, mobile. These are so easy these days. You must have them. Let me tell you, we are doing this training here, okay? Everything is provided. But me and my team, we have a backup PA system. He was sitting down there yesterday, but he's in the car. Just in case. I have torches in my car. Just in case this place just goes, bam. So you guys need to have stuff like that. Not your guy is addressing people. They can't hear what he's saying. It can be so frustrating. So you need the required equipment, training budget and program, team capacity like what we are doing. You need it to be an effective media relations manager. Then there must be a feedback channel. We talked about it yesterday in social media. And it's easier now. How you can know what people are saying about what's happening in your place and how you're doing your job. Of course, it's also good to socialize with media people. It's always good to socialize with them. Make them your friend. And that's why every one of you, even if it's one room you live in, that's what I tell my colleagues, my younger colleagues, even if it's one room you live in, let it be as decent as possible. It doesn't have to have 1 million naira furniture. Let it be where you can invite a journalist. Come to my house and have dinner with my family. They appreciate it. Okay? As a diplomatic correspondent, a principal officer in Radio Nigeria, I wasn't even principal officer in Radio Nigeria. Ambassadors used to visit me. I lived in a 3-bedroom. I was diplomatic correspondent. I developed that relationship to a point where ambassadors could visit me. The house wasn't anything to write home about. But a relationship changes. You eat, you drink together if you drink. Pastor, I know you don't drink, che? You buy nkwobi for them now. You eat nkwobi, do you? So, you know, you need that relationship. And again, gentlemen and ladies, a corporate affairs manager doing the image of organization, you must be decent now. You must wear iron clothes. Iron clothes, not expensive. Not expensive. Please, not expensive. If you buy it off Gariki Junction there, just match it well. Yeah, buy a shoe to match. Black shoe can match almost everything. Get a shoe to match, you know, just decent. For women that can't buy Ankara, sew it well, up and down. When they see you, they say this man or woman is representing the organization well. You don't need to spend so much money. Okay. Avoidable blunders. Lack of coordination. Like when you guys came yesterday, assuming when the first speaker here started and the microphone is not working, what's this called? Projector. I'm saying A is projecting B. Would you guys be comfortable with us? So you invite the press. Our MD is going to talk. The microphone is not working. His speech is not ready. Then the man finishes speaking. And then Oga was saying something about press releases. You should have done it earlier or something. Then you finish. They are waiting. The journalists are calling you. Say, hey, our typewriter. Sorry, our photocopying machine. Nonsense. Photocopying machine, where you can send it by soft copy. So if you are not well coordinated, you know, we are going to talk about event management in this training, but we don't have time. Maybe if we have opportunity, some of those things will come in. You have to organize and coordinate properly. An unprepared spokesperson is a disaster. Because when you are spokesperson of an organization, it's assumed that you know more than every other person. That's why they said you should be speaking for the rest of the people. And then you come there. You'll be mixing grammar. Has, have, this, that. Organize yourself. Because if you're unprepared, they say the organization is unprepared. You remember, do you guys remember the NSDC controller that Channels dealt with? Was that good public relations for the organization? Even though I disagree with my colleagues. Because for me, if you watch my interviews on television, I am like a policeman. You meet at the junction. You don't know where you're going. And you ask him and he points it out. But we have a new kind of media today that is so combatant. Their immediate agenda is to put somebody down. That's not where we are coming from. Eh? Yes. They had no reason to do that to the man. It was unfair. I'm writing a book. Some of you will see it. And I brought that particular, you know. So for you guys, you guys have to be very careful. They are looking for how to pin you. A lot of these young people are not looking to get information. They just want to mess you up. Okay, so you must be very prepared. Wrong timing and late press releases. Do you know, if you read about the American presidents, there's a particular time they address the press. President of America, whose word is news. But he chooses that if I address the press conference at 4 p.m., the press conference will make the major news hours at 8. He's a very important man. But because he understands the media, his team understands the media. Oga, no, we can't do this press conference on Saturday. Everybody's at home. We need to do it on Tuesday. We need to do it on Monday. We need to do it on Wednesday. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So you must time properly. This press release, if we read, and the young man talking about social media talked about it when he said, post a picture at 6 a.m., 12, and all that. You have to time properly to release your statements, address the press. What do you want to achieve? What impact do you want? You should be asking yourself, or do I just want to come and address press? Whether it has effect or not, you don't care. Or your chairman or your whatever. Okay, so you must learn to take advantage of the big shows and the big papers. Not they give you money. Let's do campaign. Because you have a friend in one newspaper that nobody knows. You go and give him the thing. No. Why do you want to use the Sun? Target audience. Why do you want to use Democrats? Or what's the other? Leadership. You are targeting the North. Why do you want to use Punch? Your target. So you need to understand it. And then the big shows. Which one are the big shows in Nigeria today? Kakaki, Arise, Channels, you know? So why do you want to go and take one FM station just to answer? No, Ebelembe is also a big show. It's a big show in its own way. You know? Just to retire the money that they gave you. And no impact. It doesn't make sense. So you shouldn't do that. Again, you can address the press or talk to them on background. Do you know what that means? I come to you, ma. I'm asking about NSITF. You don't have authority to talk to me, but you have information that can help me and help NSITF. So, because you have developed a good relationship, you say, Vin, I'm not talking to you officially, but look, the management is meeting today, and this is one of the decisions. Please don't quote me. Okay? You have helped. If you have a good relationship, if you have built it, they will not quote you. When you hear the media say, someone who does not have authority to speak to the press said, it is intentional. Sometimes it's intentional. There's a man they call Howard Baker. He used to be chief of staff to President George Bush I. He was an expert on background information. Because he was chief of staff, he couldn't speak for the government, but he knew the big guys would just call you, come. The role will be in Iran. But fact. Do you understand what I mean? But because you're my good friend and I like how you write, how you treat things about the White House, I'm giving you this information. He does two things. He makes this reporter special because it's an exclusive for him. He gives out the information without officially saying that we are going to Iran because they don't have a good relationship with Iran. So nobody has been quoted, but they are presenting a government that even can reach out to its enemies. So there must be backgrounds. But please don't go and give background you don't have good information that you think will put the organization in trouble. No. Even as a team, you guys can agree, okay, this one, we're not going to give a press release, but let's call some of our friends and give them as an exclusive. So you're building relationship. Finally. Please, anytime you are speaking to the press, or your chairman or your boss is speaking to the press, please record it. Please. Very important. It looks like nothing I say, there's nothing unimportant I ever say. But this is very important. Record. You know why? I'm a journalist. I pride myself that I'm a responsible journalist, credible journalists, but not all journalists are credible and can be trusted. So when they publish, you bring your own copy. And your phones do it. Your laptop does it. So it's not costing you any extra thing. I said it before. When you don't know, say you don't know. When you don't know and you don't want them to know you don't know, say no comment. Please, your emails, press releases must be fault-free. You are not allowed to misspell a word. There are apps for you to check your spelling. There are apps for you to even check your tenses. So you cannot make any mistake and send things and they say these people are so tardy. What's the word? Is it tardy? Is it tardy? Yes. Don't do that. Then don't beg people to cover you. I'm sounding somehow. Don't beg to be covered. Like you go and call somebody and beg. No. It's either they are covering you or you're paying for your coverage. If you beg people to cover you, like cap in hand, they give you a shoddy job, and those ones that you beg will not do a good job. It's either they want to just do it, or... So, finally, when you come back, I would give the details. If you are media relations, the final word is that you are the message. Am I making sense? You are the what? They invite, they call Mohammed, where is your station? Kano. MD cannot come to Kano. And they say, Mohammed, go and represent MD. You go and wear one slippers that is bent, and wear one cap that is like that, and then be walking like, and you go enter the hall, and the security man will say, Oga, please, this occasion is not for you. You say, but I'm representing NSIT. You are the message. Not just like going to represent, even in the office, corporate affairs, you are the message. Somebody calls you, you are the message. Somebody sends an email inquiring, you are the message. It's how you handle that that can open up the bigger picture for whoever. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.